Really, Mnet? You're gonna make it that obvious? What's up, y'all? So, I haven't posted in a while because I was moving to Korea, but now I'm back and we'll try to cover the finishing line of I-Land2, which is honestly a show that I have been watching very closely and probably been emotionally way too invested in. I heard many comments complaining about how scripted it is and that there's favoritism going on, so without further ado, let's dive in and find out. Before we go to the team assignments, as per usual, we start off with Mnet's favorite storyline, which is Jiyoon and Yoongun switching ranks and beds. When I saw that, I knew we're in for some good stuff here. Alright, now let's talk about the actual test. So we have 4 position battles, which is main vocal, main rap performance, whatever rap performance might be. I mean, they could have just done main rap, right? Then we have main dancer and all-rounder. For the songs, we have If I Were a Boy by Beyonce, Spicy for rap, Money for main dancer, which is a great choice, I think. And we have 4 Walls for all-rounder, which is a song I haven't heard before actually. So in the first group, main vocal, it's pretty obvious. We have Jiyoon and Yoongun. I think they also chose them because of obviously the storyline. But I think this song actually suits Jiyoon's voice pretty well because it doesn't have like too many high pitches. And it also is quite emotional because every verse has like different emotions that you can carry over. So you could see that Jiyeon was pretty excited while Yoongun was just like staring into the air. For rap, we have obviously Yuju. Do you spell it like that? Yeah, I think so. And Koko. Oh no, it's the other way around. I'm sorry, don't kill me. Yeah, so I don't know what to say about this. I feel like they are trying to push the narrative that Koko is superior to Yuju, even though Yuju is, I think, the best rapper here. And yeah, we'll talk about it later. I think you will see from the performance what I mean. For main dancer, we have 5 people, which is a lot. So there is Jimin. We have Sujung, obviously. We have Juwon, Mai, and who was the last one? Oh, Saebi. Yeah. So I don't think of Mai and Saebi as dancers, but then again, like what else? Where else do they stand out, right? So I think Saebi could be like the center or sort of like the visual, same as Mai, I guess. But obviously here, from a technical perspective, Juwon and Sujung should be the best dancers here, obviously. And for the all-rounder, we have the rest of the candidates, which is Fuko, Gyuri, and Sarang. I think it's quite fair, actually. They are both good at dancing and singing. So I think this concludes the group assignments. We will talk about each of the performances in detail. Now, before we move on to the actual performances, there was this lady here. She's hella scary, isn't she? And I absolutely agree with you, Jiyeon. But I think it's good to have physical exercises, and to no one's surprise, Kim Sujung was the fittest, which is kind of something that has been undervalued, because it's pretty important to have enough stamina if you have to give a longer concert or something like that. Moving on to the first performance of the night, we have the all-rounder unit with Gyuri, Fuko, and Sarang performing 4 walls. And honestly, I think this was the least memorable performance for me, because first of all, they had like a very short introduction, and also there wasn't something really standing out, except for Sarang's mistake. But it's nice to see Gyuri silently climbing the ranks, as she has been performing quite well in every stage, both singing and dancing, and also is super stable, so you can always rely on her. Next up we have the rap performance group. And I say this because it should be like a main rap group only. Or at least when it comes to grading, they should weigh the rap part more than the dancing part. But that wasn't the case here, which definitely sparked some discussions that they wanted to push for Koko and disregard Yuju. Also, it didn't help that Koko has the way better outfit, while they put Yuju in some casual shorts and t-shirts, I guess. But honestly, I just like them both very much. And I love to see their banter during the training. I really do hope that they can debut together, as they say here. Because Yuju can be the main rapper, while Koko is supporting her with the sub-raps. On a side note, I have no idea why Mnet is so obsessed with the Mama Awards, comparing like every stage that is well made with the Mama Awards, but yeah, I guess that's their thing. They definitely slayed this song and the rap, and for me it's a top 2 performance of the night easily. I mean, look at Yuju, how she's been holding this mic. It's like a rapper thing, right? So cool. Now we probably have the most controversial group of the night, which is the main dancer group. They had such a long introduction with the storyline, basically evolving around Saebi and Jimin being not so good and not so confident in their dancing, and then slowly improving, also with the help of Koko. At this point, I just have to ask myself, what does Juwon need to do to get some screen time? I mean, she's such a skilled dancer. Also, in the last performance already, they just didn't give her any screen time. I actually think that everyone in this group did better than their final scores. But the editing was just so focused on Jimin that I was just like, come on, Mnet. I mean, I want to see some of the other candidates too, instead of a slow threefold repetition of Jimin's arms, right? And I have nothing against Jimin, absolutely. I think she did brilliantly. It's just the other 4 girls got very low scores, and we will not see why. Except for that one line that Monica said about Sujung. But I mean, at this point, I just feel like Monica hates her, because she never said anything positive or constructive to Sujung. Last but not least, we have my favorite part of this episode, which is the duet between Jiyeon and Yoongun. Even though it's pretty obvious that Mnet favors Jiyeon over Yoongun, I feel like Jiyeon has matured a lot during this whole show. In the beginning, I didn't really like her that much, but ever since she didn't participate in the talking bad about Mai and helping her, and also her backstory with her dad and everything, made me just realize that she's actually a nice girl. I almost forgot how she and Yoongun were actually close at the beginning of the show. Not gonna lie, when I was sitting in the library yesterday and was watching this episode, I kind of teared up when Jiyeon started singing, partly because of the whole backstory, but also, man, she just has such an emotional voice. I always like to compare them with the 2 main vocals of Baby Monster. I think Yoongun is very similar to Rami, very stable in high pitches, has a huge vocal range, and is very good with harmonies and ad-libs, while Jiyeon is more like Rora. I think her and Rora are the most emotional singers of the entire 5th gen. They're just so good at conveying what they feel towards the audience. I really hope that they can debut together, so we have 2 main vocals. And look at that ending pose, I mean, who wouldn't melt? Now let's talk about the overall rankings from top to bottom. I think Koko is deservingly the first. Jimin's score, you can debate whether it should be that high, but if she has a large fan base, that's her achievement, right? I only think that the producer score shouldn't be that high in comparison to her teammates, because 97 and 77 is a very large difference. Jiyeon's ranking is absolutely justified. Some people say she should have gotten more than 91 from the producers, but there were some mistakes in the later part of the song, so I think it's absolutely fine. Fuko, on the other hand, got 82 from the producers, which is very low, and the lowest in her group, even though she did pretty well and was very stable. The only reason the producers gave was that she didn't stand out or hadn't had like some moments, but I mean, what do they expect from her, right? She has been constantly good, so I feel like they're judging with like different criterias, especially when we take a look at number 6, Sarang, who did 2 mistakes in 2 shows and still got 84. Gyuri being 5th is absolutely deserved, and Saebi on 7th, I mean, I'm sure she's gonna climb again. However, Yuju on 8 with 80 points from the judges is really, I mean, it's quite ridiculous because she wasn't worse than Koko, at least not that much. I don't know what she has to do more to impress, especially when she delivered such a clean rap. My improving from 11 to 9 is good for her, but 10 to 12 is really sad to see, especially with such talented girls such as Jeong and Juwon and Sujung. Just please, Mnet, tell us why Yoon only got 80 and Juwon got 77. It just doesn't make no sense. When Sujung said that the I-Made votes were not based on the dancing skills, I was like, damn, you get it, girl. Yeah, that's absolutely true. So yeah, this pretty much wraps up the review of this episode. I will be making a prediction episode in the middle of the next week, and then obviously next week the review for the final episode before the final. Also, since I'm in Korea now, I will try to get into some music shows and fan meetings, so definitely stay tuned and check out my shorts. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and see you next time.